my name is Marissa and I'm going to show you how to make a lovely bracelet today. So to begin, you're going to need one needle and we're going to be using 15/0. So please, well, it's best to use a size 12 needle. I have about 4 feet of thread on my needle and I am using this one, the gray dragon thread in size 8. So about 4 feet on a size 12 needle, dragon thread, gray size 8. And I do have a stop bead on the end of my thread. And the first thing we're going to use for the first step are our wonderful, I don't know if you can see them, halo beads for our IrisDuos, which here they are. And I already have my IrisDuos ready in my halo beads. Just get a little bit closer. And I have my IrisDuos facing the way they need to be facing with the rounded side up. And I have them, all of them, ready inside my halos. You can't see them, they're kind of out of frame, but I have them all ready. And I did check the holes of my IrisDuos. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pick up an IrisDuo like this with, a halo bead with an IrisDuo in it. Okay, so whenever I say we're going to go through our halo bead, I mean the halo bead for the IrisDuo and the actual IrisDuo. So we're going to be going through both. So I'm going through my hole on the right side and I'm going to pull. Now I'm going to pick up an 11/0, a 3mm pearl, and an 11/0, and that's going to decorate this outside part of our IrisDuo like this. I'm going to go in through the other hole, catching my IrisDuo and my halo bead. Okay, so we just decorated the outside of our little halo bead and IrisDuo with an 11/0, a 3mm pearl, and an 11/0. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up an 11/0, a 3mm pearl, and an 11/0, and I'm going to go back through this hole here, which is the one on the right side. Then I'm going to go through my halo, through my IrisDuo, and out through my 11/0 there. And if you had caught your 3mm bead, that would have been fine because we are going to go through it. So this is what we should have. And I'm just going to pull on this string here and I'm going to pull on my sewing thread just to make sure everything's tight. And now I'm going to go up this pearl. I'm holding on to everything, and then I pulled, and this is what we have. We should be coming out of the pearl. So now what we're going to do is add our next little halo bead and IrisDuo. So I'm coming out of the pearl. I'm going to pick up an 11/0. Here's my other halo bead and IrisDuo. I'm going to go through both like this, pulling it down. Now I'm going to decorate this side of my IrisDuo halo bead by picking up an 11/0, a 3mm pearl, and an 11/0. I'm going to go to this hole now of my IrisDuo halo, and I'm going to go through both, which is my halo and my IrisDuo, and I'm going to pull tight. And then we're going to pick up an 11/0 and we're going to go through this pearl. I'm just going to pick it up in my hand. So I'm going through that pearl. And now we need to be coming out of this IrisDuo. So I'm just turning the little component in my hand. I'm going to go through this 11/0 the halo and iris and out through my 11-0. And then I'm going to go down the pearl. And I'm going to add my next halo bead. And I'm going to add it the way I added this one. So just do that again. Add as many halo beads with the Iris Duos as you're going to need for your wrist, taking into account the kind of clasping you're going to use. I've already made one where I used 12, and I will show it to you. I used 12 here, but it was a little small, so I'm going to go ahead and do 13, add 13 of these beads. And so I think you will need anywhere between 13 to 15 Iris Duos with the halos. So, and when you are done, you should end with a little pearl here on the end. So I'm coming out of this pearl, my little 3mm bead, and you can use any little round 3mm bead. It doesn't have to be a pearl, but I like the pearl, so that's what I'm using. So I'm coming out of the pearl. I'm going to get ready to add my next halo bead. So I'm going to pick up, coming out of the pearl, I just need to add an 11-0. Go through this halo bead like this, through the Iris Duo as well. I have it in my hand, but I'll just set it down in a minute. And then when I'm coming out of this halo bead on this side, we're going to decorate this side with an 11-0, a 3mm, another 11-0, and then we're going to go through this halo bead and Iris Duo component and out through the halo bead like that. I'm going to hold everything so I can pull. And then I'm coming out here and I just need to connect this halo bead and Iris Duo section with the pearl and this 11-0. So I'm coming out of the halo. I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and then I'm going to go through the pearl and through the 11-0 right here, and I'm going to come and I'm going to go through the halo, the iris, the other part of the halo, my 11-0 and my pearl. So just following my thread path. I just went through everything here. Coming out of the 11-0, and I'm going to go through the pearl, and I'm ready to add my next halo and iris. So as I said before, I have three connected so far. I'm going to add 10 more and then I will meet you back. And as you can see, this is already turning into a lovely bracelet just like this. Okay, I will meet you back. I have my 13 halo beads with my Iris Duos, and this is what you should have, and it already looks like a pretty bracelet. If you want, you can actually add your clasp at this point and then call it a day. But if you want to continue, just stay with me. And this is what we're going to do. I'm coming out of this pearl. Oh, and the way we started, I mean, not how we started, but how we added, well, you should have 11-0 pearl or 11-0 3mm 11-0 here and here. So at the beginning and at the end of your halo beads. So I'm coming out of a pearl. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this 11-0. That's right here by my pearl. This 11-0 here. And we're going to add on our needle 4 15-0s, an 11-0, and then 4 15-0s. And then we're going to go through this 11-0 here and the one next to it. And then just put these beads in place there. And then I'm going to come out, as I said, we're going to go through the one next to it. And then we're going to add all those beads again to the outside of this halo bead here. So it's 4 15-0s, an 11-0, and then 4 15-0s. We're not crossing through anything. We're going to just go straight down the bracelet and then come back around and go through down this way, adding the 15-0s up here too. So again, coming out of this 11-0 here, I'm going to just go through this one. And then put them there on top. And then I'm going to go through the 11-0 next to that one. And then on again with our 1 2 3 4 15-0s, 1 11-0, 4 15-0s, and then coming out through this 11-0, go down this one, and then the one next to it, and then that will put you in place to add your next round of 15-0s with the 11-0 in between them. So this is how we do this part. Pretty simple. Go ahead and finish up down this way. When you're done, go down the 11-0, the pearl and 11-0, and then start again and finish up going that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish mine, and then I will meet you back. So I'm going to do some embellishing now. And I got ahead in my project, but that's okay. I'm going to show you what I did. And so I added all of my 15-0s with a little 11-0, and just ignore this side. I'm going to show you how to do what I did here on this side. And I got a red piece of felt, which felt is not really good to use. Not this kind of felt anyway. It's like a cheap 25-cent piece of felt, and it's not really good to use because my beads go all over the place. But I wanted you to be able to see the crystals that I was using. So now what you're going to do, once you finish adding your little 15-0s, and just, I'm going to show you how to do this side when I get over here to this end. So don't worry about, you know, how I added the clasping. I'm going to show you how to do that. So, but when I finished adding my 15-0s with the 11-0 and the 15-0s, I just went through the 11-0 here on the end, the pearl, and then the 15-0, and then the 11-0 after the pearl. And so once I did that, I just went up these 15-0s, added 3 15-0s to, well, I went up these 4 15-0s, through that 1 11-0, then put on 3 15-0 seed beads on my needle, and I went through that 11-0 again, and now I'm coming down from that. So once you add your little picot here of 3 15-0s, go ahead and sew down these 4 15-0s, down this 11-0, down this 11-0 next to it, and then go up 1 15-0 after this 11-0 here. Okay, so you went, it's kind of dark, I don't know if it's just me. Okay, so down these 4 15-0s, this one 11-0, second 11-0, coming out of your first 15-0 after that second 11-0, and I'm going to put on a little 2mm crystal, letting it drop, and then I'm going to pick up this 15-0 here right across the one I'm coming out of, and then I'm going to go through it, that 15-0 before that 11-0 there, and it's going to put my little crystal in place, and then I'm going to go through that 11-0 again, and then through this 11-0 here again. And then I'm going to sew up. I'm going to sew up these 4 15-0s and through that 11-0 here. I'm going to pick up 3 15-0s. Then I'm going to circle around and go through this 11-0. And then we're actually going to go down those 15-0s after it. So if you catch one, that's fine. But I'm doing my little picot. Then just going to turn my bracelet a little bit. And I don't want to hit my crystals on this felt because then they're going to go flying everywhere. Okay, so I put in my little picot here, there, and then I'm just going to straighten it. And then I'm going to go through these 4 11-0s. And then I have to go through the 11-0 after them. The 11-0 here. The one next to it. And then we're going to come out of that first 15-0 here. And then I'm going to pick up my crystal, my 2mm round. On this one, I use Toho, 8/0 Tohos. Okay, so coming out of this 15-0 here, I'm going to go through the 15-0 here before this 11-0. I'm going to pull my thread and I'm going to put that little crystal in place, go through this 11-0. And then the 11-0 here. And then I'm going to go back up. Well, not back up. I'm going to go up these 15-0s, out this 11-0, and I'm going to do the little picot, and I'm going to add my crystal. And I'm going to do that all down my bracelet till I get to the end, and then I will show you how to put your clasp. I added all of my crystals, and I also had to add some thread. So I've had to add thread a couple of times on this project. And so you will need to add thread. So I'm coming out of this 11-0 here because I finished with this picot. Then I went down these 4 15-0s coming out of this 11-0, and I'm gonna add the other part of my toggle clasp. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm just going to add, let's see how I did it on this side. 1, 2. I'm gonna add 4 11-0s. I'm going to pick up my toggle. I'm going to go down this one that's right before the toggle. And then I'm going to add 3 more. So I'm just skipping over that pearl. I usually do my little clasp outside of the last bead that's there, but since it is a 3mm pearl, I didn't want to go through it again. I just thought I'd add my clasp like this. So here we go. Coming out of this first seed bead after my toggle, I'm going to add 3 more seed beads, and I'm going to go straight into this 11-0 here after my pearl. And I can't see it, so here we go. As you can see, this needle is pretty worn. So I'm gonna have to find my needles to get a new one out. So here we go with our toggle. Now what you can do at this point, I'm not gonna do this because I'm just gonna reinforce when I come back down, because we are gonna come back down. But what you can do also is go through this halo bead, IrisDuo Halo bead, and then jump to this hole, come out of, jump to this hole, go through the halo, the iris, the halo, out of this 11-0 here, and then reinforce everything. I'm not going to do that because I still have to do another pass on both sides down my bracelet, so I will just reinforce it at that time. So I'm coming out of this 11-0 here, and I'm going to go up these four 15-0s that I just have a hard time seeing. Okay. Into these 4 15-0s. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce this little picot so that it stands up nice. So how we're going to do that is we are going to go, okay, we're going to go through our 11-0 also, which is the bottom of our picot, and we're going to go through the 15-0 after it. Then we're going to skip this middle 15-0 here. We're going to skip that one, and we're going to go into this one, okay? So skip the middle 15-0 and give a good pull. That way it will hide your thread behind that 15-0, making it stand up nice and pretty. So once you go through that, go through your 11-0, and we're going to go down our bracelet. Okay, so that 15-0 is nice, I mean that little picot is nice and stiff, and it's going to stay that way. All right, so we're going to go down these 3 15-0s that are after the picot, and I'm just going to cut through this crystal here. I'm not gonna, you can go through everything here again, down this 15-0, the one, I mean down the 15-0, the 11-0, 11-0, and then up, but I'm just going to cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna go through this crystal, and then I'm going to go straight up these 3 15-0s here. Okay, instead of going through, like, and I probably should have used a different color crystal. You can see the thread, but it's okay. This is for me, so it's okay. All right, so I went down these 3 15-0s, not that last one, the 4th one, these 3 through the crystal, and then you see how the thread meets here in between these 2. We're going to go up these 3 15-0s, okay? So ignore that first 15-0 right here that's right by the 11-0, ignore it. Just when you're coming out of your crystal, go up these 3 15-0s and through the 11-0. Don't get your thread caught the way I did. Okay. And we're going to reinforce our picot again. So down this 15-0 after that 11-0 that I'm coming out of, skipping the middle 15-0, and then going down this 15-0, and then we're going to go back through that 11-0. Give it a good pull so that your picot, so that the thread hides behind that middle 15-0. Okay, and what you can do is just hold your piece and pull. Okay, so that will tighten your little picot. So from here, again, go down these 3 15-0s in through the crystal, out of the crystal, go up these 15-0s, and so forth. So go ahead and finish that, and we will look at our project together. Okay, and here we go. This is our finished piece, and you should have something similar. So all I did was continue going through my edges here, going through my picots. I reinforced both sides of my clasp, and this is what I have. So it's a pretty simple project. The last pass, you do not have to add any beads. You're just reinforcing this part, the little picot trim, and going through your crystals. And I showed you an easier way of how to go through your crystals there. You just, when you came out of your 15-0s, you just cut through them and then moved along. On this one, I didn't do that. On this one, once I reinforced the picot trim, I actually did go down all the way through these 11-0s, out through this first 15-0, and then through my 8-0, and then down my 15-0 and through my 11-0s again. So in other words, I followed the thread path, and but I think they both look fine. I think they look the same. So you can do either or. So this is what I have. You should have something similar. I hope you do enjoy making this, and thank you very, very much for watching.